a few seconds.
Okay, I see the feed now.
All right, welcome to the premiere episode of Go Central, celebrating the people, organizations, and events that make Central the greatest place on earth to live, work, and raise a family. My apologies to the Baton Rouge native here on the screen with us. I'm Dave Furneaux, and co-hosting with me today is Gordy Rush, and we are going to be talking to Franz Borchardt and Kylie Arnold. Kylie's a Centralite, and we'll get into why they're here in a few minutes. We're here because of a show called Go Rouge. But Gordy, I guess let's start. Tell us a little bit about yourself for those people who've been had the head in the sand in Central.
Wow. So from New Orleans originally, and got married now 14 years ago, and I married Ashley Lewis, who's a Central native, and we lived in Baton Rouge I lived in Baton Rouge since 1987, and we got married in 2007, and we had 2 children, and my father passed, and it was time that he was down in New Orleans, and I had to move my mom up to Baton Rouge, and so we chose to put my mom in our house in Baton Rouge, which meant we had to find somewhere else to move, and we looked around, and with my line of work, I think that it was in our best interest to move to Central. My mother-in-law lives about 5 minutes away, which is good and bad, but mostly good. And so we've been here since 2011, and so I live. My address is in Greenwell Springs, but I believe it is Central.
Well, I like to say Ashley Lewis went out and had her great career in softball and in coaching, and then came home, and look what she drug back with her.
She's a rock star in Central, so it's good. I come out here and just thought she's a Central native,
and she's the new athletic director at the high school.
She is, which has been really excited for her, and she coached at Kentucky when we started dating, softball at Kentucky, and then she sacrificed her career, right, to raise children, and she worked 3 times as hard as I did. I tell people, and you always wonder if that part was missing for her. And I think applying for this job, getting this job, she's really fulfilled in that. So I'm happy for her.
Well, joining the show next week is going to be Kristen Perrin and Mindy Callender. They will be additional co-hosts as we move on through this. But right now we have Franz Borchardt, the founder of Go Rouge. And Franz, just a few comments about your involvement in this type of effort.
Well, first and foremost, Dave, Gordy, Kylie, good evening. Thank you for letting me come play with you guys. I've been playing a lot more with Central than I used to. Shout out to Kim, Carmina, Ellis, and David Barrow for letting me eat lunch with them at the mecca of lunch places in Central, Stabs, every Thursday. So I am a criminal defense attorney, and I got started in this mess, Dave. I'll say it's a mess because it's a good hobby. Sometimes it's a little over the top. I got started in all this because I got a hobby of doing brunch reviews on a page called Baton Rouge Brunches. And it was something I did about 4 or 5 years into practicing law. I was asked by the law center to do it, and I loved it. I loved celebrating restaurants, doing positive reviews. I was not a Yelper. And so what that led to was somebody from 225 magazine pointed out, you're going to run out of places to do brunch reviews. And I was like, yeah. And she said, man can't live off brunch alone. And it kind of bothered me a little bit. So I came up with the concept of Go Rouge, which had no boundaries, had no borders. Basically, it was celebrating people, businesses, artists, musicians, anybody and everybody who were doing things in or around the Baton Rouge area, making Baton Rouge a better place. And it allowed me to have access to art, business leaders, politicians. I jokingly have said I've had 2 different mayors on the Go Rouge show. I've had Governor David from Central, and I've also had Governor Sharon Westenbroom on the show as well. So I did it initially as a social media movement. It was just posting pictures of food and different scenes, and I did some blogging. And then, you know, my ego, if you haven't learned this about me, Gordy will confirm this, and Kylie definitely will confirm this. My ego, Dave, is out of control. And so what spawned from there was I had a conversation with a couple of folks from Guaranteed Broadcasting. They said, hey, would you like your own radio show? And I'm like, would I like my own radio show? I thought you'd never ask. And so now I have a weekly show on Talk 107.3 in the Guaranteed Broadcasting constellation of programming. It airs on Saturdays at noon, and we celebrate the best parts about Baton Rouge. And you know, the funny thing is, I actually did a Central episode, Dave, because when you and I had talked about this idea, I said, you know, I'd like to have some folks on from Central, and everybody lost their mind. They were like, wait, it's a Go Rouge show. It's about Baton Rouge. What are you doing? It's Central. What are you gonna have St. George on there next? And I said, nah, slow down. I said, Central is in East Baton Rouge Parish. It's its own city, but you know what? There's people that commute in. And then what's really cool is there's a lot of young professionals living out there doing amazing things like Kylie, like Kim, shout out to Bo Sheridan. All these wonderful young professionals who are doing work and playing in Central and Baton Rouge. So I think it's a great idea. I think Dave, I think you're striking gold right now with all the amazing things. You guys have a good art scene, food scene. Kylie is spearheading some good fitness out in your neck of the woods. Education is, go ahead.
Let's flip over to Kylie for just a second. We're going to get back to all these things about Go Rouge and about your Central show and some of your comments and perceptions of Central. Kylie, I met Kylie through Franz. Needed someone to do all this website work and everything, and found out in our fledgling state it was going to have to be shoestring, but I'm looking forward to an opportunity to maybe turn into Cashew Creative. Is it Cashew Creative?
Yes.
To maybe help us as we go forward. Kylie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am also from Central, technically Pry. And, you know, I went to school in Central, and when my husband and I decided to buy property and build a house, when we were looking at where did we want to stay in Central or move to Baton Rouge, we decided Central is our home, and it's where we want to stay and where we want to grow and raise our family. That being said, I work for a company in Baton Rouge, and I do commute to Baton Rouge a lot. So that's Cashew Creative. I do marketing for them, and I'm also a nutrition coach with Arnold Nutrition Coaching. I've always had a passion for economic development and just local love, you know, just bringing life to wherever it is that we live, Baton Rouge, Central, surrounding areas. To me, it's all important. And I just want to see things grow and be awesome, especially because I live here now, to stay.
Well, just to touch on some of the technicals, we are streaming live on Facebook and live on YouTube. We also do have a website, gocentral.com. The recorded show will pop up on there later on tonight, and we're working on trying to communicate with Instagram and Twitter. And right now, you can comment live as we go. I see Kim Ellis and Mia Furneaux and Casey McKenzie are all watching us right now. So this is our first show. Didn't expect a whole lot of traffic, but if you want to throw any questions up there or comments up there, I'll try to read them as we go and be a little interactive. So live comments when possible. If you want to contact us, you can, anybody in Central, you've got to either know Gordy or Kristen Perrin or Mindy Callender or me, or email davefurneaux@gmail.com if you want to know more about the show. And as we move forward a little bit, we'll talk about maybe some of the ways this might expand in the community. This really came out of a conversation before I was clued into to who Franz was. Gordy and I started talking about the need for, I'd say, Marketing Central. Gordy, go back and let's make some comments about how those conversations started.
Well, you know, I've been out here for 10 years, and you know, I think that certainly there's enough forums for you know, a lot of different issues, political issues, and different things out here. And I think one of the things that was really missing was something about, you know, community and the arts, and we talked about that a little bit, and something I think steer clear of anything too controversial. And that's, you know, we brought up Franz, and what a wonderful job he's done with that Go Rouge concept. He's truly an influencer, and the great thing, you are an influencer. You're a rock star. and and being a Guarantee Media, it's my job to try to get as many influencers in the door and give them the opportunity to bring their tribes to integrate with our station and mix. And I think what we're trying to do in Central is the same thing. Just we want to bring people that are bringing positive stories. And this is the first time I'm meeting Kylie, I believe, tonight, right? And so and she's from Central, and you want to hear these stories and you want to have something that's positive. And so I put Dave and Franz together and they could figure this out. And here we are. So I'm really excited to be a part of this.
Welcome to the broadcast, Todd McClure, and asking, he wants to know if this is Ashley Lewis's husband.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
In Central,
So,
I am Ashley Lewis's husband. And that's one of the reasons I live here in Central. I put a baseball hat, some socks and flip-flops, and I'm Ashley's husband. And that's right. And then she gets to get all those complaints.
well, there are plenty of places you can go to talk the controversial things and to argue a little bit on various social platforms. But our goal is to bring positive things, positive comments, positive people, events. And so when Gordy and I talked about this, he said, look, you ought to check out this Geaux Rouge.
Yeah.
And I checked it out and got Gordy to make the introduction. And my first comment to Franz was, I want to be like you. We
Which
basically said, hey,
really fed Franzingo. I can tell you that.
I know.
You gotta set the bar higher, Dave.
Star.
So,
you got your own billboard now, don't you?
No, I do not have my own billboard.
I hear it's coming.
We'll talk about it.
Well, and basically I called Franz and said, look, can we mimic you? Can we copy you without getting sued? He's an attorney, So Franz was like, man, anything I can do to help. So Franz, you've told us a little bit about Geaux Rouge. Share with us some of the, no, let me back up a little bit. We would like to see this. We'll be covering the events, cooking in Central, the great the things that we do, like the Halloween event and 4th of July, and some of the great things like our sports teams and our athletic departments, the Central Athletic Foundation, Central Community Assistance Foundation, Fire Department, Food Bank, anything we can cover that's that tells all the great things going on in Central. And I guess the question I have, you did a Central show, and what was your perspective or your what kind of reputation? And please, no holds barred. What is Central to Baton Rouge?
So honestly, I know a lot of people that live in Central that I never knew lived in Central. And so to be candid with you guys, I just didn't have the occasion to go out there a lot. Now, little known fact, Kylie is in a kind of like a BMI group. It's a Central networking group. And I actually, the first time I ever did something in Central was that group invited me to come talk about disruptive marketing and a little bit about what we're talking about right now. And that was at, used to be an Italian spot. And then I got to go to a second one where we did arts and crafts at Caliente.
Yes.
Everybody is super friendly. What I thought was most interesting about Central is, and it's the Stabs lunch crew. I'll shout out to Kim and Mayor Dave again. This group just has lunch at Stabs on Thursdays, and it's kind of like the Ruth Chris effect of there's the who's who of Central coming in, and you could be sitting at the table with the mayor of Central and a realtor / title company person, and then another person maybe on a zoning committee. It's crazy, right? So what my things I knew about Central before: great education system, good people out there. Man, is it a long drive? That was my world view. And the only place I would go in Central to go eat. Now, look, I used to be a foodie. Now I'm a pescatarian. I don't want to talk about it. But anyways, shout out to Stabs. They always accommodate. But Stabs was the only place I'd ever gone until I went to Caliente. Mm-hmm. And then Caliente, it was like expanded. So the other thing is you've got some good pockets of hidden talent in Central. One of my favorite photographers, you know who she is, Kylie. She is actually in Central. Kylie is part of my marketing team that helps me with Geaux Rouge and the Borghardt Law Firm. So she's in Central. But it's kind of one of those. It's a hidden, for me. It's a hidden gem, and especially now that I have a little 5-year-old. Who doesn't like good education? Who doesn't like, you know, I had Gordy's wife on the show, and we talked about athletics. And like, I had no clue about the athletics that were going on in Central and how important that is. Now, look, Gordy will tell you, Dave, I'm not an athletic person. I know about that much about sports.
You're running. You're a runner now.
Dude,
I mean, I
baby,
see you.
I got varsity sports apparel, so it's
Yes,
like
you
it's
do.
the real deal now. I got apps now. It's great. So I think the other thing of it is your spectrum of people living in Central. You've got the Gordy Rushes of the world living in Central. You've got the Kylie Arnolds living in Central. You've got a wide spectrum of young up and coming talent. Gordy's just plain talent. I mean, talent in a if you could put it in a glass jar. So you know, I've been pleasantly surprised. And one of the nicest things is like I said, the people are just really friendly. You know, granted, the fact that I have a Baton Rouge radio show doesn't really impress anybody out there. You know, sitting at the table, thank you, Gordy. Sitting at the table with people like Bo and Kim or Mayor David and all these people, they're just really outgoing and talking to them about the issues facing Central, and little things, big things. And it's very interesting to me because, you know, living in Baton Rouge, now granted, I profit off of crime to some degree. Don't soundbite that. We have some really serious things going on that you guys seem to not. I mean, you have problems. It's not an oasis. It's not a paradise, but it certainly seems sometimes, you know, Kim said on the feed, maybe Franz will move out there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm moving to Central.
Well, Kylie, you are part of the Go Rouge team and live in Central, so you're straddling the fence here. Tell us your take on what something like this can be for Central, how we can do some image highlighting and let's be honest, dispel some of the negatives and really emphasize the positives. Where's our opportunities, Kylie?
So I love that you're hitting on that, Dave. And I really think the opportunities are to get the younger generations involved as well and to really boost the community. So as Franz said, I started a group called Central City Social, very much for the same reasons that you're starting this Go Central show. And I think that what we're going to find, and I think what we already know, is that a lot of people in Central have the same vision, passion, and concerns, such as, you know, we have a lot of people that live here, but we want more. We want more thriving businesses. We want more variety. Yet there are some negative pockets and some negative feeds that we've seen, and we want the positive to outweigh that because there really is more positivity. But unfortunately, on things like social media, the negative is what attracts, and we didn't want that to deter businesses or for it to create a negative image of Central. We want to celebrate the life that's here, just like Go Rouge does. And there is so much life here. There are so many events. There is so much talent. There's so much opportunity. And shout out to the chamber right now with all the events that they're doing as well. Just being able to bring people together and give those opportunities. I think the showing that we've had at these last few events, especially since COVID, just goes to show what we have here and what there is to celebrate. And I think we need to show people on the outskirts that and give them a reason to come here and celebrate life with us.
Well, Gordy, you obviously made the choice to come here. What would have helped you make that choice faster?
One more time. What now?
You obviously made an intentional decision as a New Orleans guy and
Yeah.
strong Baton Rouge roots, and you work in Baton Rouge. Other than the mother-in-law,
Yeah.
there had to be other things that drew you here. And how could we have done a better job of marketing Central for you?
Well, I mean, to me, Central was an unknown. You know, I come a lot with Franz's background, and I didn't know a whole lot other than coming out and visiting my mother-in-law. And I think what I say, Ashley and I started dating in 2005. So, you know, there was 6 years of visiting out here. Look, I think it was the proximity to my mother-in-law. I wanted my kids to have that sort of relationship. And one of the wonderful things about Central, it's a great place to raise a family. And so over those 6 years that I lived in Baton Rouge and we were coming up here to visit, I think my my wife's family's a legacy family, right? Lewis Ensminger, they've been here for quite some time. And so I know about the roots and the pride in this community. And I think that people, there's a lot of people that take tremendous pride in the way that Central grew and became a city and what have you. And then, as what Kylie's talking about, there are a lot of young people that are moving out here because it is a great place to raise a family. And Central has the #2 school district in the state. And so kind of understand both sides of it. And like Kylie said, I think the important thing is, how do we get those two to talk? How do we get them to talk about what's going on out here and positive stuff, and not the blogs and the pulling in the politics? That's important, but there's enough of that out there. And I think if this place is going to grow as a community, it's trying to get everybody kind of pulling together in the same direction, interacting and doing great things, like what was at the chamber, and David did the all the tents, the 10 by 10 tents out there by Menchie's on a Sunday afternoon, and there was 100 tents and great community support. So how do we get the word out about that? Tell the stories of what's going on out here in Central, and try to connect this town in a positive fashion.
Well, Franz, you I say started out in the food niche, but now you've kind of expanded. I see you have parish agencies, and I saw Mayor Broom on your show and some of her staff. Where have you seen an opportunity to bring the things that are happening in and around Baton Rouge to your show that really help the image of the city?
So the easy thing, believe it or not, is getting a mayor to come to your show. The difficult thing is to find the gems, the people that don't get a lot of PR that everybody loves. Those are the people that you have to strategically search for. So what I do is, and it's not a big secret, is you find the best organizations in the town, the chamber, Kylie's networking, and you approach them and say, look, if there's ever something you want to share, is there ever anything you want to get on the show for, you invite them on. So Gordy will tell you, content is something you have to fill every single week, every single episode. And I call my radio show, it's like an organic creature. It's like a dog that has to eat. And if I don't feed it, so part of it is making connections with the chamber. We have a recurring invite to the Junior League of Baton Rouge. I call them the league. And so they're doing things all year round. We constantly let them come on. But the other thing is you invite your audience. This is the big one. You invite your audience to send in suggestions on show topics. And you'll be pleasantly surprised what you get. Hey, you need to cover this lady that's going to the Capitol Lakes, named Marie, that is cleaning up the Capitol Lakes near the state capitol. She's an amazing, and by the way, she used to photograph Mother Teresa, Marie Constantine. I would not have gotten that unless somebody emailed that into me. The easy ones are Franz and Gordy, right? The hard ones are the people that you never get a chance to meet unless you said, hey, Kylie, who are some good people we need to have on here? And you got to get a lot of good people out there. The other thing is, one of the things we're trying to showcase, and by the way, Dave, pandemic changed everything, right? Yes. One of the things we're trying to showcase is a few of us in the world have what the millennials call side hustles. And so the idea of just being, a councilman or a lawyer, and that's it, is kind of no longer a thing. Now it's hey, I'm a lawyer, but by the way, I have this radio show that has nothing to do with law. And I'll tell you, this is the takeaway. Having the little guy on, or I don't want to say little gal, but a little guy or the little person that is not in media a lot, they have the biggest tribes. They have the biggest tribes because they are the people that people want to rally behind, whether it's athletics, whether it's food, whether it's arts. And the other side of it is, dude, I get to have people on that I'm interested in things. So if I want to have a sit down with Gordy for 20 minutes, I'm like, hey, I'd like to chat with Gordy for a little bit. I have him on the show. So you've got a wide array of talent out there, and a lot of people that I think people would love to hear from. And then once it starts, it's like a little wildfire. You know, you have Gordy's wife on, and Gordy's wife tells you, look, you know, you really should have on your show. You should have these people on. And then you have those people on, and oh, you know who you should really have on? You should have these people. Now, I will say, shout out. Now, Dave, I will say this, and I'll shut my mouth. Casu Creative made my life a lot easier. I know nothing about web design. I needed a platform that I, as a lawyer, could upload stuff and download videos and get it out to all the social media. And so they set up something that was dummy proof for me. So I stream it, I download it, I upload it, and I'm good to go. Now, if you want me to make TikTok videos, I'm not your guy, but Kylie might.
Wait, that's at our next meeting. That's what we're going to talk about next, Franz.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding.
Well, let me take this opportunity since Franz brought it. Go ahead, Kylie.
No, I was just going to elaborate on what Franz said, is that also having the platform and the exposure. And when you get the exposure, it does create this wildfire, this energy, this, hey, I want this, I can do this, you know, and you see, if you're exposing the community of support, then when someone else has the idea to do it, hopefully they go for it. For example, we have the Activate Wellness Festival coming up on Saturday. I had the idea, I went to the chamber, they're supporting me in it. They've helped me with it in, oh my gosh, so many ways. And I just think it's really cool that, you know, Central isn't so huge that things like that get lost. Like, I'm just one person. I can go to the chamber and say, I have this idea, can you help me? And we're making it happen. And so if other people see that, if they're passionate about something, people rally behind that. And so getting the exposure and then really highlighting those areas, I think will inspire others to do the same. And then you just really do create this domino effect. And I think it brings up the community as a whole.
Let me take this opportunity. We do have 25, 35 viewers, and mostly on Facebook. Let's go ahead and challenge. Tell us what you want to see on the show. I've already seen a suggestion for a sports talk show.
Oh, not me.
Oh, I wasn't looking at you.
Somebody else. I'm not. The beautiful thing about you won't hear me talk about sports. You know, my wife's got a job, and I'm the athletic director's wife, and I take care of the kids and bring them to the park. But this is a good time for me to do anything but sports. So I'm
bringing you here to make you work evenings also.
I'm excited. Franz, you can appreciate it. I do have a story. One of the things I think really kind of sold me, endeared me on Central, and I tell people this, is one of the first people that I met when I came out here and we moved was Mr. James David. It's David's mobile station, and his family, and they do a wonderful job there. And of course, a couple of years ago he did pass, but I used to sit up there and just talk. And it's a deli at that time. I think it was a Dairy Queen, and then you have a who's who, right? Of the city that sit there and have breakfast every morning, and they solve all the world's problems. And it's just so cool. And maybe a little bit over at Phil's in the back room, you have some of that in Baton Rouge, right? But I mean, this is so real, and I really enjoyed that. Go sit with those guys and get caught up and just kind of listen. And those are the type of places, and I think those are the type of stories that really belong on this show, right? The local mom and pops, and what an incredible story that is, and that his son has continued to keep that up and running, and they've made it even a bigger deli and even a bigger hot food place. I mean, for me, that's the fun part of coming out of Baton Rouge and working like you and Kylie in Baton Rouge, and being able to come out here at home. It feels like home. It's got a country or suburban feel to it. I really enjoy that.
Franz, how long have you done Go Rouge?
So I'll be doing episode 74, 75-ish tomorrow. So it's been about 2 years. I will tell you, it got a little dicey during the pandemic. I went to a virtual platform because I didn't want to have people in the studio. And then of course, it just wasn't. I mean, Guarantee did a good job of making some really good decisions about being, and because, you care about the people coming in. But I've done it for about 2 years. I will tell you, I will tell you, I am blessed in the sense that I only do one show a week for about 44 minutes. God bless the folks that are doing shows every single day. I don't know. I mean, shout out to Brian Haldane. I don't see how they do it other than by having talented lawyers like myself come and do legal commentary. But what's funny is your concept also evolves. If you've ever done stand-up comedy before, which I've unfortunately done in my life, there's things you think are going to work. And then when it comes out of your mouth, it's like, oh, that didn't really land well. And then there's other things that you're like, I didn't think that was going to be good. But some of the best conversations I've had were out of left field.
Yeah.
Truly just out of left field, didn't anticipate it. Somebody suggested, and I'm kicking myself because I cannot think of the name of the organization right now, but they basically help get inner city kids to learn how to swim. It wasn't True Blue. It was, I'll think of it. That was one of the guests that I was like, sure, that sounds great. And it was amazing. And I was just literally like, what can I do to help? I will tell you, having Marie Constantine on the show, I'm having coffee with her and someone from the Brew advertising agency so I can help them clean up Baton Rouge. Because one of the things, I was walking with my 5-year-old Dave, and I was walking near the lakes, and it was like, man, and I'm trying to teach him about that, and I'm trying to have a peaceful, and so those are the good conversations, right? I mean, having political debates and getting into the weeds of this person did this thing right or this people wrong. I like having a conversation about, hey, look, this fitness person named Kylie is planning this fitness day in Central. What can we do to help? How can I attend? Am I welcome to attend? And once you get people to come to your community, then all sorts of things are possible. So yeah, it's just, and look, I'll be honest with you, Dave, I didn't anticipate doing this show for as long as I've done it. And it kind of, and some days I have court and I have to tell judges, hey, look, I got to go do my own radio show. So I'll be back in a little bit. And they're just looking at me like, huh, what? You're going to go do your, no big deal. No. Yeah. More ego. Yeah. But, and that's the other thing is having people that are flexible with production is really helpful. There are days where I have to come in at 10 and everybody's ready to go. And then there's days where I have to tell Brian Haldane, hey, look, I need to record on another day because I have a trial. So I will tell you consistency of airing. And I will also tell you, and I know you're on a shoestring now. It's a good thing you're going to be getting some sponsors to help pay for things like Cashew Creative. And I will tell you, getting a good interactive web thing. The only thing I regret, and it's simply a time thing for me, is I wish I were blogging more content that go along with the radio show. And if I did not have a full-time job, I probably would. And if I had more money, I would hire somebody to do copy.
Like Cashew Creative.
Right. Yeah. But that is if you ask me, the one area that I think is lacking in the show is I would like to do beyond just the episode, expanding on the conversation. And I'm not there yet, but that is something long-term I would love to do. Which is, look, guys like Jay Ducote, who were bloggers at first, and then they had podcasts, and now they have shows. They're the complete packages. I'm just a lowly, awesome criminal defense attorney just trying to make it in the radio world.
You're a star.
Well, I blocked out an hour for this show, but I'm a big podcast listener, and I find the most entertaining podcasts are the ones that the guys or the ladies will talk until they're finished talking, and then they sign off. I don't need to hear 72 minutes of somebody if they got 38 minutes worth of content. So I don't look at for a backdoor on this, just as long as it's interesting.
Sure.
Do you have any? I expected a technical epic fail tonight. Kylie can probably speak to that. I'm sure she's seen a few epic fails. I haven't so far. Credit my daughter Michelle. She's my right hand woman right now. She's sitting about 3 feet to the side, making sure I don't make any mistakes. But I expected the fail. Tell me, has there been any funny or epic fails on your show you'd like to share with us?
So at one point I was doing Zoom episodes where we would webinar record just like this. And then Brian Haldane, who's my producer, would be on recording it at the radio station. And we were in a lightning storm once, and I had Club Blue, who raises money for the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Baton Rouge. I had Club Blue on, and we were in a horrible lightning storm. And I had pretty good internet coverage at my house, but on this particular day, it booted me off the Zoom. And so I had the oh poop moment of, okay, I guess my show's gone. So it turned out though that the Zoom kept going. And so they just started chatting without me until I was able to get back on. There have been times where,
well, if I may interrupt, doesn't it make you feel like not worth a whole lot if the show can go on without you?
the show. So the best part about as big of it, let me address that, because Kylie and I joke about this. As big as an ego as I have, the reason my show works, the reason I think Go Central will work is it's not about the host.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's about the other people, which is great. Nobody wants to hear, look, I already talk about law once or twice a week on 107.3 for about 30 minutes or to an hour. People get tired. I get tired of me. People have to get tired of me.
No.
So it not being about me though, that really honestly, and one of the cool things I do, Dave, is I occasionally will let people co-host with me an episode like Gordy or somebody else. Chelsea Giddon, who used to be with Theater Baton Rouge, and who's now with 368. She co-hosted several episodes with me. And it allows you to get outside and look, I can cross-examine and direct examine and interview people all day long, but there are just certain nuances that other people have that I don't have. So, it's not unfathomable that I will look at Kylie and her business partner and say, hey, look, y'all taking over an episode. And they're like, what does that mean? And I'm like, you're taking over the episode. You can have whoever you want on. You can have these are the criteria I have. I need these photos. I need this information so I can do the build up for the show. And I said, I'll just be there staying out of the way. That is a lot of fun. And it's also very scary. And you have to make sure that your special hosts are prepared. But yeah, the only other
I'm holding you to this.
I got to fill a show. So Dave's going to fill a show however many times he fills a show, whether it's weekly or whatever. So here's the thing. At some point, Dave's going to have a life. Not that you already have a life, Dave. But right. But having somebody else with a fresh perspective, and by the way, that's also how you build your tribe, is because whereas people may not care about me, they definitely care about Kylie and Gordy. So you have those people on, you have them put on a show, and it's like, dude, Gordy's wife, I've never gotten the Central episode that I had is one of the top ranking episodes I've ever had. You know why? Because people really love Gordy's wife.
Right. I love my wife. I love my wife too. Yes.
Like, it was great having the mayor of Central on. Everybody was like, how'd you get Gordy's wife on there? How did you get her on there? I was like, I asked. And they're like, really? And I said, yeah, Kim helped, but I asked. And they were like, is that all it took? And by the way, that's the number one way of getting people on your show. Just ask them.
Just ask.
Yeah. Nobody ever gets asked to do stuff. They're like, how did you get your own show? Somebody asked me. Just ask.
Well, Franz, I have to say the format of Zoom, pandemic or no pandemic, this is how it's staying because it's easy. It's everybody can do it at their convenience. Don't have to travel. It's just a great format. Go ahead, Franz.
So I was going to say, in a perfect, what I struggle with, my biggest dilemma now is what I struggle with is, in a perfect world, this would be how I would do every single show. The problem is there's no way around it. The sound quality at Talk 107.3 Studio is just far better than my little Apple EarPods. So sometimes I still do the show in this format. And what this allows for is a panel-like atmosphere. Mm-hmm. I can do a panel. For example, tomorrow I'm having Parade of Homes on the show for half a segment. So we're going to have like 3 guests in the booth at the same time. But in this format, you could have 16 guests. Yeah. You could have 8 guests. There's only so many mics in the studio. So it's a tightrope. But I will say this. There is something magical about the studio. Being in a studio, there's just something special about it, and it feels differently. Do I like being in my PJ pants and doing this? Sure. So I do a little bit of both. And the other benefit of this format is, let's say you want to do an episode at Stabs, or let's say you want to do an episode at Caliente. Or you tell me the places you'd want to do it. What's the best coffee shop in Central? I've never been to a coffee shop in Central. What's the best one? Where do I go to get coffee in Central?
We have Java Mama.
So all of a sudden you're doing an episode in Java Mama. One of my favorite episodes, Dave. I don't know if you're familiar with the Baby Cakes of Baton Rouge, Mardi Gras dance crew. They're kind of a big deal. I had 4 baby cake dancers. One of them was Gabby from Brouhaha. I had 4 of them on the show at once, and we recorded the whole show from Brouhaha, which was a blast. It was a blast. But we were able to do that because of streaming, Facebook Live, Zoom. And that is the frontier is going to be all the wonderful places in Central that people don't know about. And maybe people in Central don't know about it either, that you can use, besides just your own little personal studio, that you can use to showcase the people, places, and things of your community.
Well, that's going to be easier as we get more subscribers, as you can do live YouTube live once we get 1,000 likes, 1,000 subscribers. So y'all go to YouTube and sign on. You sign on here at Facebook. It'll help us expand our capabilities. Let me throw a couple things out there. Lots of good comments. Lots of people watching, despite it being our first episode and not much marketing. One of the things we've talked about is the ability to use the same format. If there's an organization like Central Athletic Foundation or some of the broadcasts of the games from Central or the Chamber, if anybody else wants to do a show, the format's here now. You want to do a weekly Chamber show? Do a weekly Chamber show. I'll make it available to you. You'll get the same list of subscribers. You get the same marketing and no cost. Just zoom in and we'll make sure you can do your own time slot and maybe build a platform in Central where a lot of good things can be highlighted every week. So Kylie,
we have a lot of requests that want to hear from Kylie.
Okay.
So Kylie,
Yeah,
what do you want to see on the show?
She asked me.
Wait, y'all want to hear from me?
Well, she asked me at the beginning of the show whether she's putting her personal hat on for business here in Central or the Geaux Rouge hat. Let's put your hat on, Kylie, and let's tell us about what you do.
Okay, so I am an account executive for Casually Creative. We are a digital marketing agency, so we help small, medium, and large businesses with their marketing. Especially, we help tell their story. In addition to that, through that, I have found my own passion through health and wellness. So I'm a nutrition coach, and I help people learn how to eat for a sustainable lifestyle while reaching their goals. So with that, food is a passion of mine too, but I love showing people that healthy options can be delicious too. So one of my goals is to work with the restaurants in Central to have, an Arnold Nutrition approved menu to really highlight we can celebrate, we can have fun and still live a healthier lifestyle if we choose to, and balancing that. I want more places, to go out to. I love that, Denham Springs has a family-friendly brewery. Like, how cool would that be? We have a lot of residents in Central, and I think there's a lot of room to grow. I mean, on Friday and Saturday nights, y'all, our restaurants are packed, like lines out the door. And so I think bringing more of those things here to where it's accessible will be really cool. And I think Central needs to tell its unique story too. So every place, every city around us, Baton Rouge, Zachary, Denham, all has their stories, but what's going to make Central really shine? I mean, obviously we've talked about the school systems and, the community, but what's going to make people want to bring their business here? What's going to make other people want to come and experience Central with us? So those are some of the things that I want to see. I'm also Franz has mentioned it. We're having an Activate Wellness Festival Saturday to really get people moving, because we have a lot of great gyms and meal prep companies and all these great things. So we're having community workout classes and a healthy cooking demo. So, and a kids obstacle course. So I love that we have places like Cheeky Monkey now too in Central, and just really highlighting those and elevating them as well.
Well, Kylie, give me some details on the Activate activity.
So that is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Central Square. We will have 5 different gyms doing community workout classes. So we'll have Bar, Pivot 180, Spectrum, Elevate Fitness, and Bayou Jiu-Jitsu. And then we'll also have Fully Fit Meals doing a cooking demo. We'll have Brett Parks out there. They'll have kids activities. Cheeky Monkey is doing a kids obstacle course. And then we'll also have vendors as well. So we'll have physical therapists out there. A lot of fun. Be a beautiful weekend. Come learn and be active. And y'all, you get free workout classes to be able to see what actually goes on in the gym, because I feel like it can be scary walking into a new class, right? I mean, Dave, what's the last fitness class, Zumba or whatever, like it's hard. You don't know what to expect when you walk in. So I think being able to see that, participate in it, and meet the people makes it a lot less scary, right?
All right. So this Saturday from 10 to 2 at Central Square, right?
Yes.
Let me throw a couple other plugs out there. We have the Grinnell Springs Youth Riders Pro Rodeo is May 7th and 8th at 7:30 at the Shady Park Arena over there off of Grinnell Springs Road near the old Heck Farms. And we also have a July 4th celebration happening on July 3rd. Look for details on that. Be fireworks, a band, and all that kind of stuff. I'll challenge the people that are watching, that are messaging. Give us show ideas. We are contemplating a show on the whole Central Parks and Rec effort next week, depending on how that goes in committee. I think there's a lot of positive things to be said. Brec's a great organization. Central's a great city. Maybe there's, if we end up with an independent recreation, we'd kind of like to look and see how that would work out. Maybe get some inside information on how that might look and how that might affect things parish-wide. So we'll think about doing that for next Monday if it gets through committee and it gets to be a more serious conversation at the state level. Franz, any other comments? Any suggestions, advice?
So one of the things I think you guys have going for you is your amazing hospitality. The time I was having lunch at Stabs the first time on a Thursday, while it was amazing to sit with Mayor David, Kim, and the other wonderful people, I showed up ridiculously early and I hung out in the salon next to the Stabs, just talking to the ladies over there. It's a long story. And it was just fun. It was fun talking to them, talking to the people that worked at Stabs. I would really suggest, so what I love more than anything else is sharing things to do that people don't know about, that just are off the radar. And I'm sure that Central has a bunch of stuff to do that people that live there just don't know about. And those to me are especially if it's a community oriented event like Kylie's, or if it's a charity event. What are the amazing charities you guys have out there that are making the community a better place? Those are the people and things I want to know about. Because people that give a heck, that's the word I'll use since this is a podcast. Mm-hmm. They give a care about their community. They give a care about helping charities and charitable organizations. Those are the kind of people I want to spend time with. And you know what? Some of the charities might not be, I'm not an animal crazy person, but I have a dog. So every once in a while, you got to have the Animal Alliance people on. You got to have, but those are the things, those are the stories I want to know about Central. I want to know if I were going to go to Central on Saturday and I had never spent a day in Central, what are the things I should go and do? Like what is
I have an idea. We should do like a day in a life segment or a day in a life something, just different people who live in Central, their days with their hidden gems, like where do they go? What do they do?
Not a bad idea. We can have 64 screens open and hear from a bunch of people.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
I'll go back. I'm still, Franz, I love some of the stories. Some of the people that have been here. Take like a Lucky Ross and what they do over at Ross Tire, and they're involved in everything. And Les Hunt's another guy right down the road at Hunt's Tire. That anytime that you see anything, they're always involved in the community. And maybe a 5 or 10 minute segment where you bring them in and learn a little bit about their businesses. They've been here for a while, and it's those backstories of Central. I think that one makes it really special, and two, again, all the new families that are moving out here for the school district and want to be a part of this community, I think connecting the two could be
I
a
love that.
role with the show.
Franz, Josh Roy wants to know, ask if you were getting a haircut at Avant 2.
So I can be extra sometimes. And when I see a salon that looks like it could service both men and women, there's things occasionally my eyebrows get out of control. I'm just being vulnerable and honest here. I've been reading a lot of Brene Brown. And so I honestly was going to run in there and get a little trim up and maybe some eyebrow work, but I realized immediately it wasn't my kind of place, but that didn't stop me from sitting down and visiting with the women that work there, since I had time to kill. And it was very nice. They were very, very nice.
Karen Bush from the high school says that they're hosting the Division II Lacrosse State Championship at Wildcat Stadium May 7th and 8th. So make sure you
lacrosse. That's right.
May 7th and 8th.
State lacrosse.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys play lacrosse in Central?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Look, funny story, because I still my kid runs track and I still like to run on the track. And so they're just getting into the club sport. And I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, Central's first year. And those balls, I forget what they hurt, right? And they were just learning to play, and there were balls flying all over the track. So we got off the track. That was enough of that. But they're better now, and Central hopefully is going to make the finals of that lacrosse that's going to happen out at Wildcat Stadium.
But really, the variety of sports that Central has, I think, is amazing.
And it will be growing. Yes, Gordy?
Yes.
I'm not here to comment about athletics. I'm the athletic director's wife, and
That's right.
I'm carpooling kids to kids sporting events.
So I'm throwing this out to the listeners and to you guys. I have never gone hunting before.
Okay, who's inviting Franz to go hunting?
I hear Central might be a place one goes to hunt. Is that true?
Okay,
No?
first one to comment gets to have the invitation to take Franz hunting. You want to go wild boar hunting?
I hear there's no limit on boars. So I
Franz, I love being able to say I've killed more deer than you.
You have definitely killed more deer than me.
All right.
But you know what?
Josh Starnes shares that Central versus Hanville baseball first round playoffs tomorrow at 6.
So I think somebody, I don't have verification on this, but somebody in this chat put that Live Oak, which is a Central rival, and I believe won the district, may have lost tonight. So Coach Leo McClure doing a great job with Central baseball. So of course, I guess I'll give a plug for athletics since it was on there.
Any last words?
I do have to bring up another great success story. Kylie, and I know you're a nutritionist, but how about Lit Pizza? It opened on Sullivan. I mean, hour and a half wait.
I love Lit.
At Lit Pizza, and I love Lit Pizza.
Yeah.
But if you're watching the show and you're thinking about moving a restaurant out here to Central, there's your proof right there. Of all the times I've gone to Lit Pizza, I've never waited an hour, and it was packed, and they have a nice courtyard outside, so really cool.
Gordy, and let me be clear, just because I'm a nutrition coach, I like good food.
Okay. There's some healthy Lit Pizza.
And there is, and that's a good
cauliflower crust
too.
Yeah.
They have a variety. Is like you can make it delicious. Believe me, a lot of my clients go to Lit and we talk about ways. What do you order from there? Just how to portion. But I'm super excited about Lit. You're right. That is a huge
Well, Franz, I would definitely put it on my agenda to get you a hunting invite. Don't see any yet on the comment stream.
Nobody.
We'll be back with you.
Look. Kylie and Kylie's husband could smear the blood on
Franz,
my
I'll
forehead.
take you. Wait,
Okay.
Wait, no, Kylie, not Kylie's husband, because Kylie's husband does not hunt.
All right, so Kylie, you are officially taking Franz hunting, right?
Casey wrote in, are there any good barbecue restaurants out there? I remember there used to be one over on,
There was a Buddy's.
I called it Hooper, but it goes by Hooper out here in Central.
Hooper.
I've learned
Yep.
Hooper. Not sure how those two O's go to Hooper.
Well, wait, we have a food truck, Gordy. So Queen Eats, she does really good barbecue chicken and barbecue ribs.
Gotcha.
And so she's usually either in the Lancaster parking lot or right next door. And I think, yeah, so we do need another good barbecue restaurant. So we have Queen Eats, love her food, but there is room for another store if someone wants to bring one, because I drive to either Queen Eats or Hannah Q's, and so we need something a little bit closer.
So real fast, besides Stabs, besides Caliente, what is the third and fourth place to eat dinner in Central?
I like the Central Steakhouse is pretty cool out there on Hooper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure I say that correct. I don't want to get in trouble with my in-laws.
If you like
You have the
sushi,
Palette.
Nagoya.
Yeah, the palette is good.
The Palette is new and good.
Nagoya for sushi.
Meatballs for breakfast and brunch.
Mm-hmm. Mobile Station, David's Mobile Station.
Oh yeah,
is always
they have
solid.
a lot of good food.
They have a
I like Java Mama has some really good food too.
That's it. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to Java Mama. It's happening.
Good job. Hey, they
It's
have
happening.
Arnold Nutrition approved menu items too, Franz.
Well, you know I'm a pescatarian, so
I forgot about Fratelli's.
Okay.
Fratelli's is over there.
Fratelli's is good.
And then my middle kid loves is in Nagoya, so there's a sushi restaurant over there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to leave anybody out. All of these business owners in Central do a great job.
So Franz, I'm going to give you a story. And so being a New Orleans guy, in the first night, we moved out here on the Friday night as good friends with Jason Jackson and Sammy. And they had Sammy's at the time out here in Central,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I unloaded the truck. It was like 10:45 and I'm going to Sammy's. I've been moving all day. We go into Sammy's. I walk in and they closed out here at Central. And it was almost at 11 o'clock. And I called Jason Jackson. I said, how can you stay open on Highland Road till 4 a.m. and close in Central at 11? And he was laughing because they're not supposed to be open till 4. That was way back in the day. But so that was my first night. And I was like, how am I going to make it out here in Central coming from New Orleans? And it's all been uphill since there. It's all been good. But that was my first eating experience in Central. So I got a Jack in the Box that night.
Well, Franz, again, thank you for letting us be like Franz, letting us kind of mimic your efforts in Go Rouge. And Franz rolled out the red carpet. He put me in touch with Kylie. And again, we do want some sponsors. If there's any big companies here in Baton Rouge that in Central that want to support this effort and tell about all the great things in Central, I'll be knocking on your door. So, a few dollars to pay to upgrade our efforts would be wonderful. Gordy, thanks for being a part of this. And we're looking forward to Kristen and Mindy being a part of this. Franz, you said make it about other people. The only reason I get to do this is because I got the domain name and not my name first. So they have to let me play. But I'm looking much forward to professionals like Gordy and more popular people in Central like Mindy and Kristen to really to help build this tribe. So
well, I think you got a good foundation for that. So
well, we've actually filled an hour. I appreciate. I didn't expect to, but again, thank you for being here. Thank you for helping us kick off Go Central.
Thank you for having us, Dave. I'm excited.
This is the greatest place on earth to live, work, and raise a family. I've said that for years, and some people say you have to be here to really appreciate it. But my wife wears a T-shirt. She says, "I'm not from Central, but I got here as fast as I could." And that to me epitomizes everything. Gordy got here as quick as he could. Had to find a good woman first.
Yep, there you go. That's right.
There you go. Well, catch us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, GoCentral.com. Look forward to our promotions. I'm going to get some tips from Franz. Franz, what time you come into Java Mama tomorrow?
I think it's going to be around lunchtime. Kylie, Dave, Gordy. I think it's going to be around 1 or 2.
Be there.
I'll buy you lunch. Text me or call me. I'll buy you lunch. All right. So signing off, Gordy Rush, Dave Furneaux, Franz Borkart, Kylie Arnold. Thanks for being here with us. And next week, Monday night, 8 o'clock, we'll be back. How do I stop? Ending. Got my tech person here helping me out.